Alright, hey guys, ADSG here, and welcome to my new series called How to Use, in which I teach you guys how to use every item in the Hypixel Bedwars shop NPC. Starting with the utility section, we'll be going all the way around the Bedwars shop. So from blocks to tools to melee and etc until we end at potions. And yeah. So we'll be starting off with the pop-up tower today, and I know I might not be the most professional Bedwars player, but I do have some experience as seen by my 522 stars, which I think is I at least have some experience in this game. Anyways, yeah, this first part will be on how to use the pop-up tower, and hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so welcome to how to use the compact pop-up tower. Each of these how to use videos, I will be going over a few categories. So first one is, what does this item pair well with? And blocks are always a given for that because blocks are always useful. Second, I'll be going over offensive, defensive, and evasive tactics that you can use with this item. And I'll also be going over the ideal placement of the item, if it's a placeable item. I'll be going over which game modes it works well in, like which game modes it works the best in. And lastly, I'll be going over the necessity of the item and giving my overall rating afterwards. Now for a quick overview of the pop-up tower. It's a item that's the chest icon that's found in the utility section, and it costs 24 iron to buy. Its lore is place a pop-up defense. Now, what does this item pair well with? Personally, I think the pop-up tower works best with tools and invisibility potions. Now for offensive tactics that you can use with this item, you can, and I'll show it on screen right now, you can place it on your opponent's bed defense as a means of covering yourself so you can break the bed easier. Using multiple of them at once can also help yourself seal in better, and it can buy you more time to pop the bed. But be mindful of people that have shears, since the towers are only one layer thick. Also, if you can't afford 2 pop-up towers, which you usually can't, especially in the early game, then you can just block off the entrance of the pop-up tower with wool to seal yourself in, so the opponent can't easily just walk in and kill you before you break the bed. Also, some other notable offensive strategies you can use with this pop-up tower. You can use it to block trap people, gain high ground in the fight, and counter bow spammers if you're having trouble dealing with them. Now, I don't have clips for this, but just take my word for it. Now we're going to talk about the defensive tactics you can use with the pop-up tower. So what you can do is, if you're having trouble with TNT droppers, so like people that drop TNT on your bed, you can place the pop-up tower on your own bed defense, and this would work well with a small bed defense. But it requires precise timing and good prediction on the placer's part to pull it off successfully. If you place it too early, a smart opponent will realize what you just did and just drop the TNT off to the side of the pop-up tower, which ruins the whole point. And if you place it too late, the TNT would have already gone through, or the player would have jumped down already past the pop-up tower before it even finished constructing itself. Essentially, what this tactic is supposed to do is supposed to catch the TNT or the TNT dropper, make it more difficult for them to pop your bed. Another thing you can do on defense is placing the pop-up tower to try and get up to your opponent. If you were trying to knock them off before they use any sort of TNT or just drop down and start trying to break your bed. But be warned, a smart player will just jump down to your base if they see you climbing on the pop-up tower to get up to them. So this would work best in team modes. So like if you have like a teammate below and you're the one climbing up, then at least if the opponent is smart, you have a teammate down there that can actually help defend the bed just in case. Now we're going to talk about the evasive tactics you can use with a pop-up tower. So what you can do is, if you're trying to run, like if you're running along the bridge, you can just turn around and place this pop-up tower down to try and slow them down while you run ahead. And so you increase the distance between you guys. But be warned, if you're too close to where you place the pop-up, you're going to be thrown back and potentially off the map too if you're at a weird angle. So be sure to like stand like a couple blocks back or place it like a couple blocks in front of you, just so it doesn't accidentally kill you basically. And alternatively, you can do the same thing as I just said before, but in this time, instead of running away when you place it down, you go inside the pop-up tower while they're confused and climb up the ladder to jump over them while they try to break in. Now, essentially, you're just gonna try to juke them with this tactic, and you can probably just once you like get into the other side of the bridge, you can just block it off with just like normal blocks or another pop-up, and then keep running. Okay, now we're gonna go over the ideal placement of the item, offensively and defensively. So, offensively, what you want to do is ideally place this on flat ground or like right like on their bed defense, so you don't get any gaps at the bottom. But you can fix all the gaps by blocking them off, but that takes times. So ideally you just want to put it on flat ground where you don't have any gaps anywhere except for the entrance, which you can just block up. Defensively, just place the pop-up tower wherever you think the TNT is going to drop at, or where you think the player is about to jump at. And this will surely catch them off guard, especially if you like if they like fall, if the person's jumping down and you catch them inside that pop-up tower and then just trap them in there before they do any damage. Anyways, this item works well in all game modes, but I feel like it works well especially in doubles, because in doubles you don't have like an excess of resources, but you don't have too little resources to not buy a pop-up tower. Like, you can usually afford a pop-up tower right after you kill the first team next to you. Also, it's more better in doubles because there's a lot more TNT droppers in doubles, since it's a lot more affordable there compared to triples and fours. So yeah, that's essentially why it's better for the doubles game mode. Now, as for the necessity of this item, it's useful, but it's not something you should always strive to buy when you like respawn and stuff. But placing one in your community chest in game modes other than solo can save your bed if you use it right. So it's also the reason why it's not something you should always buy is because there are things you should buy first before the pop-up tower, like blocks and tools. Especially the tools, because those are permanent items compared to the pop-up, which if you die with the pop-up, you lost 24 iron, which is not easy to get early game if you're playing solos and doubles, in most maps at least. But in later into the game, it's definitely something you should look into buying. Now, overall, this is a very underrated item in the utility section that can be used to throw off your opponents and catch them off guard. And can actually be a game changer or lifesavers in very common situations if you use them wisely. And yeah, I hope this video taught you something about how you can use the compact pop-up tower. And be sure to comment what item you want to see next in the utility section covered in this series. Be sure to like the video and subscribe as well if you enjoyed. And with that out of the way, don't stop gaming, guys. Peace out.